Chidi did not tell his father he was studying again. Not because Emmanuel would have stopped him, but because some things are heavier when spoken aloud, and the weight of a second attempt, with the same books, the same borrowed pencils, the same 8x10 room, was a weight Chidi preferred to carry quietly, until he had something different to report. Emmanuel knew anyway. He always knew. He could tell by the light under the door at midnight. He could tell by the way Chidi ate. Quickly, efficiently, the eating of someone with somewhere more important to be. He could tell by the specific silence of a boy who has converted his disappointment into fuel and is running on it steadily, without drama. He said nothing. He bought a new torch battery without being asked. January. Chidi registered for the next jam sitting from a cyber cafe 3 streets away, using money he had saved from running errands for the neighbors. 200 naira here, 500 there, the economy of a boy who had no margin for waste. He studied 7 hours a day. He studied in the booth during Emmanuel's night shifts, the books spread on the small shelf beside the thermos flask, working through past questions by torchlight, while the compound slept above him. He studied in the afternoon in the quarters when the harmattan made the small room an oven, sweating through his shirt, without breaking his concentration. He had one goal, not just to pass, to score so high that no phone call could erase him. February brought something unexpected. A teacher, Obiageli Nuosu, female, age 51, a retired secondary school chemistry and mathematics teacher from the neighborhood. Dark brown skin, always in a plain cotton blouse and wrapper, reading glasses on a beaded chain around her neck. She had seen Chidi's photograph in the newspaper back in October. She had kept the clipping. She knocked on the compound gate one Saturday morning and asked Emmanuel if the boy was available. Emmanuel looked at her for a moment. Then he called Chidi. Mrs. Nuosu sat with Chidi for 3 hours that Saturday. She brought her own textbooks, the proper ones, not photocopies, and worked through mathematics and physics with the particular precision of a woman who had been teaching for 27 years and had not lost the feel of a sharp mind under her guidance. When she stood to leave, she said, "Same time next Saturday." Chidi looked at her. "I cannot pay you," he said. The directness of someone who had learned that false hope was more expensive than honest limitation. Mrs. Nuosu looked at him over her reading glasses. "I did not ask you to," she said. She came every Saturday for 5 months. She brought textbooks. She brought past jam questions going back 12 years. She brought, one February morning, a used scientific calculator she had found at a teacher's cooperative, the kind that cost 4,000 naira in the market, and placed it on the book stack without ceremony, as if it were nothing, which they both understood it was not. Chidi's scores in her practice tests climbed with the steady, measurable progress of something being built rather than hoped for. By April, he was consistently scoring above 320 in practice. By May, he was touching 340. Meanwhile, 20 meters away, Tunde was at university. He had gained admission to study engineering at the University of Port Harcourt, the same course, the same department Chidi had applied for. He was there because of a score of 231 and a Thursday evening phone call, and a father whose contacts lived at the intersection of money and access. His first semester was difficult. Not because the work was hard, though it was, but because for the first time in his life, Tunde Adekunle was surrounded by people who had earned their places. Students who had scored 290, 310, 330, students who had studied in worse conditions than he had and arrived sharper for it. He sat in lectures and understood less than half of what was being said. He went home at Christmas with 2 carryovers. Mr. Adekunle made more phone calls. Chidi sat the JMB in March.